Bismillah wa bihamdih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'inu ala umuri dunya waddin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Today here is our second meeting for the second subject for the fifth semester of English Department, Faculty of Education, Muhammadiyah University of Jakarta. Yeah, and then for this second subject here called classroom action research. Yeah, for this classroom action research, last week when we had our first meeting, we already discussed about the overview of the lesson, the overview of this subject, the overview of classroom action research. And then hopefully you guys still remember about our previous discussion when we discussed about what is classroom action research, and then why did the teacher conducted classroom action research, and then what are the important things in conducting classroom action research. Yeah. And then today here, our second topic for this classroom action research subject, it is about the characteristic of classroom action research. Why the second one, we are discussing about characteristic of classroom action research, because before you are going to make your guys proposal of classroom action research, you have to understand first what are the characteristics that we have to consider, that we have to understand before we are going to make our classroom action research proposal. Yeah, and then after that one, I would like to give you guys also the reminder. Yesterday, our subject language testing, and then to be honest, I'm waiting for you guys attendance list till 12 o'clock, 12 in the morning, yeah, and then only 81 students that attending our second meeting for language testing subject. And then hopefully for this second subject here, classroom action research, we'll have more students that attending, that watch this video here, full video, because this video here is our second meeting for classroom action research. And then for those that already missed the class twice, yeah, in language testing or classroom action research, you guys will have one more chance, yeah, one more chance to join every single meeting that we have in language testing and then classroom action research. Yeah, after you guys already missed 3 times for language testing and then also language testing and then also for classroom action research subject. So I'm gonna consider you guys failed in joining classroom action research and then also language testing subject. So you don't have to join any more meeting, don't bother at all. You can do any kind of your activity, do your kind of program, that will be okay. Yeah, it's mean you failed for both of the subject, for language testing subject and then also for classroom action research subject. Okay, without wasting the time, now let's start talking about our next topic for this classroom action research subject. Let me share screen first. Okay. Okay. Okay, wait a second. So, looks like we have some problem here. Okay, I'm gonna. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we'll try to discuss about our new topic for this classroom action research subject. Yeah, and before we are going to talk about the characteristic of classroom action research, we are going to do here. We are going to do classroom action research outlook. Yeah, so classroom action research outlook here is the history of classroom action research that we already discussed on our first meeting last week, I guess. Yeah, but I'm going to give you guys your to recall back your guys understanding, your guys comprehension from the previous meeting. Yeah. Okay, and then for the classroom action research outlook here, let's start with this classroom action research, known here as classroom action research or CAR, yeah? Classroom action research. Last week, we already discussed about the basic kind of classroom action research or the basic thing based on action research. Last week we have action research, and then we have classroom action research, and then also last one school action research. Yeah. Here classroom action research introduced by Kurt on 1946. Yeah. So classroom action research already popular worldwide, and then being introduced by Kurt on 1946. Yeah, after that one, Kurt here as the one that introducing the classroom action research or action research here, developed by Stephen Kemmis, based on the theory, based on the topic, based on the statement by Kurt, Stephen Kemmis, Robin McTaggart, John Eliot, and also Ebbutt here tried to develop what was introduced by Kurt on 1946. Yeah, and then there was the worldwide of the action research or classroom action research from the beginning, 1946. That was the introduction. And then, what about in Indonesia? In Indonesia, classroom in Indonesia starting in 1980. Yeah, so the 80s. Yeah, and then today we have our 2020. So it is almost 40 years of classroom action research access in Indonesia. So I guess that's a mature kind of research, I guess, because it's already 40 years from the beginning, yeah, 1980. But before that one, before classroom action research introduced by Kurt on 1946, now let's have a look here from John Dewey first. John Dewey, 1910. So far back before Kurt introducing classroom action research, there are some kind of background first, starting with John Dewey, 1910. that mentioning scientific approach can solve the real problem in society. Yeah, so the current kind of scientific approach that already exists in a certain society at that time, 1910 here, cannot solve the real problem in society. Yeah, and that is also the same with what happened in a classroom. Yeah, so the common kind of technique, strategy, or the common approach in research cannot solve the problem that appear. And then John Dewey here proposed or tried to raise a discourse about focus on practical problems, not on theory. Yeah, John Dewey here tried to come with his perspective about focusing on practical problems, not on the theory, based on common kind of approach that exists on 1910. Yeah? And then one of the country that become the supporter or become the support of this kind of new thinking, new perspective of Dewey here, we see from USA, United States of America. Yeah, United States of America here came with the use of collaboration. So conducting of research, it is no more kind of individual, no more a privilege of some scientists only, an individual scientist, but here come with the use of collaboration. And then apart from Kurt and then also John Dewey, Gideonse here, 1983, page 3, also mentioning restoration in form of reflective research. Yeah. So in the previous kind of research, it is focused only on the result, focused only on the process, but not focusing on the reflection based on the result of some research. That's why Gideonse here, 1983, page 3, mentioning the term that restoration. Yeah. And then next one, we have Kurt, and then also we have John Dewey, and then we have Gideonse, and then next one we have Kemmis. Kemmis, as I mentioned it from the first slide of this learning material, Kemmis here is one of the expert, one of the scientists that try to develop the Kurt theory about classroom action research or about action research. First, Kemmis, 1982, here explained that theory and action might develop together. Yeah? So while conducting the research, we have to combine, we have to blend, we have to try to make a combination between the theory and action. Or action in classroom action research here, we can simply call the treatment that we are going to propose to solve a certain kind of problem. And the next one, from application of the scientific approach. Yeah, so the mixing, the blending, the combination between theory and then action here, we can make it into an application of the scientific approach. Yeah. And then after Kurt, after also next one, Dewey, after Gideonse, and after Kemmis, we had Sanford, 1970, and then also Kemmis, 1993, yeah, mentioning action research as a process of controlled investigating, yeah, controlled investigating, based on individual reflection to improve the quality of learning. So now let's have a look, controlled investigating, yeah, or controlled investigation here, conducted by the teacher based on individual reflection. Individual reflection here based on the teacher reflection, what kind of problems that happen in a classroom, and then the teacher itself here try to solve the problem as a form to improve the quality of learning. Yeah, that was the statement from Sanford and then Kemmis, 1970 and then 1993. Okay, that was the classroom action research outlook, I guess. I hope you guys can recall your previous comprehension when we had our first meeting. And then, if you guys still want to know more about our first meeting, you may watch our first meeting and then try to compare it with what we have here for our second meeting. Okay, now we're gonna go to our main topic for today here. It is about characteristics of classroom action research, yeah? And then, for your guys' information, last week I already randomly asked some of you guys to mention some characteristic in classroom action research. And then you guys can mention 2 or 3 kind of characteristics that we have in classroom action research. And then now here I'll try to give you more kind of characteristic about classroom action research. And for your information, all of the list here, you can edit by yourself. You can make your own supplemental kind of characteristics as long as it is relevant with classroom action research. I guess that will be okay, yeah? And then now let's have a look here, our list of characteristic classroom action research. The first characteristic of classroom action research, we put collaboration. Yeah. Why we have collaboration? We put it as the first here because collaboration based on the race of classroom action research that introduced by Kurt in 1946, and then also supported by John Dewey. Yeah. And then the race of research based on United States of America that come with collaboration aspect of research. So that's why this will be the first. The first, it is collaboration, and then we'll discuss it more deeply after this one. And then second one, focus on the real problems. Yeah. So what is it called by focus on the real problems? If we have real problems, do we have a fake problems? Yeah, we'll discuss it more. And then next one, characteristic of classroom action research, we have as a process of improving professional quality. Yeah. Okay, we'll discuss it next after this one. And then next we have a real process in classroom. Yeah. So if it is real process in classroom, is there any kind of fake process in classroom? Okay, and then next one, as an action by the teacher for the students. Yeah. And then next characteristic of classroom action research here, it has to be different with common approach, method, or strategy. Next one, the process happened in cycles, 2 cycles minimum. And then our previous meeting, when we had our first meeting, I already mentioned what is it that consists the procedure or the step that we have while implementing a cycle, starting with planning and then also action and then observation and then reflection. Those are 4 standard, yeah, the 4 standard in conducting one cycle in classroom action research. Yeah, that's why here the process happened in cycles. Classroom action research needs cycles to implement the treatment and then also the action. And the next one, clear instruction for the student. Yeah, what does it mean by clear instruction for the student? We'll discuss it later. And the next one, relevant instrument. Yeah, this also important because while conducting a research, we have to pick, we have to choose which one the most relevant kind of instrument that we are going to use. And then next one, evaluation based on the result. Yeah, those are the characteristics of classroom action research. Let me repeat it again. Yeah, let me repeat it again here. All this list of characteristic classroom action research here is not one kind of list that you have to remember, but you can also, guys, put your kind of characteristic based on your understanding about classroom action research. Yeah, for example, here classroom action research only for the teacher. Yeah, because dealing with classroom process and then also with the student, that will be okay. Yeah, after this one, after we already know the list of characteristics in classroom action research, and then now let's go to dig deeper, yeah, to dig deeper about what does it mean by all the lists that we already read before. Next one. Okay, so the first here is collaboration. Yeah, classroom action research characteristic. The first, it is collaboration. Why it is a collaboration? Because while conducting a research, the teacher can do the research, can do the classroom action research here without any help or without any partner or without any fellow teacher that can observe him or her. Yeah, that's why the first characteristic of classroom action research, it is collaboration. Yeah, collaboration here, working together between the teacher itself as the doer of this classroom action research, and then the second one, the collaboration with the principal or with the headmaster of the school or with the leader of the institution, so the teacher can get the permission to conduct the research. And then also next one, collaboration with the parents. Yeah, collaboration with the parent in order to find out what kind of the weakness, what kind of the difficulties that faced by the student while joining the teaching and learning process. Because our core point, the one and only that understand about their kid or their children here is their parents. That's why a teacher, the doer of this classroom action research, they have to collaborate also with the parents. And then after that one, a collaboration also with the teacher, a fellow teacher that will give a feedback, that will give a suggestion, that will give an evaluation based on classroom action research that conducted by the doer of the research. And then last one, a collaboration need also with the students, because before you are going to conduct this classroom action research, as a teacher, you have to diagnose, you have to analyze, you have to come with the result about what kind of new things, what kind of new strategy, what kind of new method, new approach that you are going to implement for your student to improve the quality of learning. Yeah, that's why the first characteristic of classroom action research here, it is collaboration. Next one, next characteristic of classroom action research here, we call focus on real problems. Yeah, focus on real problems here means the problems that we try to solve, that we try to find out the alternative solution, it is the problem that happened in our classroom as a teacher. Yeah, so the real problems here means the problem that faced by the student while joining teaching and learning process. Yeah, for example here, the real problems, the student motivation while joining English lesson, maybe they have below motivation, lack of motivation, so that will be the real problem. Yeah, and then we try to find out what will be the solution, what will be an alternative way to increase our student motivation in joining English lesson. And then focus on the real problems here means the problems that we try to solve. Yeah, it is really happen. Yeah, it is really happen in our classroom. Yeah, and then next characteristic of classroom action research here we call as a process of improving professional quality. Okay, being a teacher, it is the same with any other kind of jobs or any other kind of professional job, professional career. Yeah. So if you want to be a professional English teacher, yeah, one of the requirement you have to try all the time, continuously, simultaneously to improve your quality of learning. Yeah, by improving your quality of learning, so it's mean you will be one of the professional English teacher because you try to develop, you try to build, you try to increase, you try to improve, you try to modify the way that you teach, the way that you approach your student, the way that you use the method for the student. Yeah, and then that's why the characteristic of classroom action research here called as a process of improving professional quality. Yeah, professional quality improves, so the quality of learning also will be increased. Yeah, that was the next kind of characteristic of classroom action research. Next one, real process in classroom. Yeah. Next one here, what does it mean by real process in classroom? So when you guys become a teacher, conducting this classroom action research, it should be happen in a real setting of a classroom. Yeah, real process, it means you are the teacher and then you have one class that you teach in and then you try to conduct this classroom action research. So you cannot just conduct a classroom action research without having a class, yeah, without having a student, or it is only a classroom imagination. No, but it should be in a real process in classroom. Real process starting from the planning, starting also from implementing, and then also from observation, and then also from reflection or evaluation. Yeah, that's what does it mean by real process in classroom. Next one, as an action by the teacher for the students. Yeah, this will be the next characteristic of classroom action research. What does it mean here as an action by the teacher for the student? An action by the teacher, it's mean action here refer to the treatment, refer to the alternative solution, refer to new strategy, refer also to new method, new media that going to implement by the teacher to teach the student. So they will so they will achieve their teaching goals or the learning outcomes. Yeah, action, one more time here, refer to the treatment. What is it? The alternative solution that the teacher will give to solve the student's problem while joining teaching and learning process. Okay, next characteristic here, it has to be different with common approach, method or strategy or media or any kind of techniques that already exists in a classroom. Yeah, characteristic of classroom action research, this one is the unique one, I guess, because when you guys become the teacher and then try to find out the student problem and then try to give an alternative kind of solution, so it should be different kind of approach, different kind of method, different kind of strategy, and then this one will call as an innovation from your creativity as the teacher to bring a new kind of approach, method, strategy, or media for your student. So they will enjoy in learning your subject, and then also they will have an opportunity to experience new kind of teaching and learning process. And Your classroom will be a fun kind of classroom, and then will decrease, yeah, will decrease here the burden from the student, and then will increase also the motivation for the student to join and then to enjoy your teaching and learning process. And then after that one, for the characteristic of classroom action research, for this characteristic, I already explained it, yeah, last meeting. The process happened in cycles. And then I gave a random question to one of your friends. Last weekend we have our Zoom meeting, and then try to ask them about what does it mean by cycles. And then some of you still confused, and some of you can answer this question. Cycles here, what does it mean by the cycle here is the time, yeah, is the duration, is the certain kind of period that we use as a teacher in conducting this classroom action research. Cycle here also can be called a complete process of classroom action research, starting from planning and then also implementing or action, and then also observation, and then last one, reflection or evaluation. Yeah, and then last week I already told you guys also the characteristic of classroom action research. We have here 2 cycles minimum. 2 cycles minimum. So if one cycle consists, for example, 4 or 6 meetings, in 2 cycle minimums here, it means 2 cycle, it's belong to 8 or 12 meetings. So it can be happen in a month or 2 months from a real classroom, yeah, that can happen for one complete kind of classroom action research. Yeah, that's why this characteristic of classroom action research, we call it here the process happening cycle. It should be in a cycle. Cycle consists, yeah, one more time, let me repeat it for all of you that still confused. Cycles here, one more time, consists of a complete process first, starting with the planning itself, starting also with implementing, and then also with the observation, and then last one, with the reflection or the evaluation. That's why this characteristic here mentioning, while conducting a classroom action research, you need 2 cycles minimum. Yeah, so it can be a month or 2 months. Yeah, it will be depend on the schedule that you guys have as a teacher while teaching your student in a school, in a certain classroom. Okay, next one, in classroom action research, we have to give clear instruction for the students. Yeah, clear instruction for the students here means the student, they have their own kind of understanding, how that they're going to follow, how that they're going to join this classroom action research process, what kind of steps, yeah, that they have to take part, starting with the planning itself, starting with also the implementing, and then also with the observation, and last one, reflection or evaluation. Yeah, so as a researcher, as a teacher of this classroom action research, you have to give the student a guidance, yeah, a clear kind of instruction, what they have to do, what step, what pace they're going to take part while completing this classroom action research. That's what does it mean by clear instruction for the students, yeah? And the next one, relevant instrument. Characteristic of classroom action research here, it is relevant instruments. Relevant instrument means when you are going to be a teacher and then conducting classroom action research, you are going to use a relevant kind of instrument. Yeah, the instrument you are going to collect the data for. For example, here you're going to use task, that will be okay. You're going to use an interview, that will be okay. Or you're going to conduct an observation and then also giving a questionnaire, that will be okay. But you have to use the relevant kind of instrument that will support your classroom action research. That's what does it mean by relevant instrument. And then next one here, it is evaluation based on the result. Yeah. So what does it mean by evaluation based on the result here? While conducting classroom action research here, after you got the result, after you have your finding of your classroom action research, you will do the evaluation. Yeah. So your technique, your media, your approach, yeah, your strategy that you already implement to the student, yeah, it can improve the student mastery, it can improve the student comprehension about the subject that you teach them or no. That's why we have to evaluate. We have to do the evaluation process here based on the result. Yeah, and then evaluation here we have it on our fourth step in conducting classroom action research: reflection, or we have also evaluation. Yeah. I guess that's all for today's topic here, guys, for the classroom action research characteristic. I hope you guys can get all the point that I already explained. And then if you guys have something to ask, something to comment, something to give the suggestion for, so you may use the comment section from this video, and then please type or please write any kind of your opinion about this characteristic of classroom action research. Okay, before we are going to go to the conclusion, let me repeat it one more time here. Okay, our topic for second meeting here for classroom action research, it is characteristic of classroom action research. The first, we come with the classroom action research outlook here, starting with Kurt, Kemmis, yeah, and then we discuss also about when that classroom action research happened in Indonesia, and then we have also the opinion from John Dewey, Gideonse, and then also Kemmis, yeah, and then Sanford, yeah, and then that one we already discussed all about characteristic of classroom action research, consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. One more time, you can add, you can give, you can put any kind of characteristic of classroom action research based on your own kind of characteristic. That will be okay. Yeah. And then this one, collaboration here, working together with all elements that we have in a school, with the principal, parent, teachers, yeah, with all elements, with all part of the school that can help us in conducting the classroom action research. And then this one, real problem that faced by the teacher in the classroom. While you teach the student and then you have the problem and then you try to solve the problem. That's what does it mean by real problem. Next one, the process of improving professional quality. Professional quality, as I mentioned earlier here, it is a professional teachers do. When you guys become a professional teachers, you have to do a simultaneously kind of improving your quality in teaching, your quality in delivering your learning material for your student. Next one, real process in classroom. This classroom action research happened one more time in a classroom in a certain school. But we have to consider classroom, it is not only in a physical kind of building, yeah, not only what we have in our school context here in a real building that we have, but real process in classroom also can happen in an online kind of classroom, also can happen in a virtual kind of classroom, or it can happen also in a distant kind of learning. Yeah, that will be okay. This, what does it mean by a real process in classroom? And the next one is an action by the teacher for the student. What does it mean by this one? An action, yeah. Here, what does it mean by as an action by the teacher for the student? Here refer to the action, yeah, the action, that the treatment that will try to solve the problem that faced by the students. Next one, it has to be different with common approach, method, or strategy. Because we try to solve the problem, it is impossible for us to implement the same way, the same kind of technique, method, media, or strategy. But we have to improve ourselves to use new kind of approach, method, strategy, technique, or any kind of media for our students. Yeah. And then next one, the process happen in cycles, 2 cycles minimum. One more time, cycles here, a complete process, starting from planning, implementing, observation, and then also reflecting or evaluating. And then next one, clear instruction for the students. Yeah, as a teacher, as the researcher, you have the guidance for the student, what they're going to take part on the process of planning, implementing, observation, and then also reflecting or evaluating. Yeah, so we have a clear guidance what they have to do as the students. And then relevant instrument, you have to choose only the relevant instrument. Yeah, it's a test, or it is an observation, or it is an interview. You have to choose the most relevant instrument that you need to solve the problems that faced by the students. Next one, evaluation based on the result. This will be the last process in conducting classroom action research. Based on the reflection, we have the evaluation. Okay, for the first cycle, second cycle, our student here, we have the student, their skill improved, their motivation improved, but still not achieving our aim in conducting the result. For example, our aim in conducting the result here, majority of the score, the student score get 80, and then after we have our second cycle, and then it is still 75, so we have to do more cycle. We have to do next kind of cycle for the students, so we can have our 80 of student score in average. Yeah, I guess that's all for the recap. Start from the first, and then now the conclusion. Yeah, the conclusion: classroom action research is a process that conducted by the teacher to improve the quality of learning process. Yeah. This one, when we try to conduct a classroom action research, this research conducted by the teacher. Yeah, if the teacher want to be the professional teacher for this one, especially for professional English teacher, they have to do a simultaneously kind of improving quality of teaching and learning process. Yeah, and then to improve, one more time, to improve the quality of the learning, the quality of teaching and learning process, the teacher should conduct classroom action research. Yeah, and then next one, we already discussed about characteristic of classroom action research. We have first is collaboration, second focus on real problems, third as a process of improving professional quality, and then fourth one, real process in classroom. And then fifth one, as an action by the teacher for the students. And then for the sixth one here, it has to be different with a common approach, method, or strategy, or media. And the next one, the process happen in a cycle, 2 cycles minimum. And the next one, clear instruction for the student. And the next, relevant instrument. And then last one, evaluation based on the result. Yeah. Okay, guys, I guess that's all that I can explain for all of you for this second meeting of our second subject here, classroom action research. Hopefully after this one, after watch full this video, let me repeat it. You gotta watch this video full without skipping, yeah? Because if you are going to skip this video, so you are not going to get a comprehensive kind of understanding. So please watch this video without skipping, yeah? And it will be also the same like the previous day. like yesterday that we had our language testing subject. After this one, I'm going to check all the comment, all the question, all also your opinion about this second meeting from classroom action research. And then that will be our attendance list. That will be your guys' attendance list for our second meeting. No comment, no suggestion, no opinion, no name of you guys in the comment section. So there will be no evidence for you guys. So I can put your name for the attendance list that we had on eCampus. One more time, please do write down your opinion, your suggestion, your question for this second meeting of our classroom action research. Yeah, that's all that I can deliver for you guys today. I hope this will enlighten you guys to classroom action research outlook and then also the understanding of characteristic of classroom action research. Yeah. And then one more time, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel because we are going to have our daily update about English department, about English education, from this Faculty of Education Muhammadiyah, University of Jakarta. That's all that I can deliver for you guys. And I'm sorry if you guys think there's some understanding for you, but I'm open to get your question, opinion, suggestion, or anything, after watching this video. That's all, the last, and then I say, Wallahul muwaffiq wal hadi ila sabilir rasyad. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace out.